You're listening to the Boxing Voice.
It's showtime! Welcome back, boxing fans.
Blood is good.
Fireplace, a mask of blood.
Blood is emotion.
Too much blood coming out of the eye.
Blood is a story, a drama.
Deep gas, blood pouring right into his eye.
Blood is what we want to see in terms of passion.
Blood streaming now from the cup of the eye, the nose, his mouth, his cheeks swollen, and he's still calm.
What we want is a bloody good fight tonight.
We have Heather, the Heat Hardy. Is this you?
This is me. I think I need to talk to you every night because you make me smile and blush over here.
Never been a lame-o, never been a lame-o. Yeah, I love trips. I'm okay.
You're serious? You're serious?
And that's the good thing about UK. That's why I can't hate on them guys, man. They love fucking boxing.
No fighters in England. They all bums.
Did you hear what this idiot just said?
Yo, son, you're gonna get your ass beat by Molina, son.
Are you fucking kidding me? He's overrated.
Do some pushes for me right now.
For the interview? Yes. Don't get your hands go. Get out of here, Bert. Go home. What next?
You want the table for the food? You not even honest? You want the table for the food?
BoxingVoice.com.
This is why we use the word sensation.
All right, everybody, welcome back to another very special edition of the Boxing Voice. I am your host, Des GTO, and you know I'm joined alongside.
You want the title shot at the food? You not even honest? You want the title shot at the food?
What's going on, baby? Big news today, brother. Big news.
Yes,
Big
it
shakeup.
Yes, it is, and we're coming live and direct to bring you that big news. We figured, this merited a show. This merited some talk because it's not just as simple as Saul Canelo Álvarez signing to HBO, is it, Beeb? I mean, there's a lot of moving parts in this mechanism that's happening with HBO and Oscar De La Hoya and Saul Canelo Álvarez. This is a little bigger than just a fighter signing on this network, is it not?
It's huge, man. This is the future. It's basically the future,
now,
man.
Me and Beeb are a little bit on separate sides of the track on this one, but we're definitely going to get into that and, give you guys our reasons as to why. But overall, I pretty much believe that we're on the same page with this being good for us, the boxing fans. Am I right, Beeb?
Absolutely. No question about that.
That's what I figured, man. I figured, this opens up possibilities for a possible Pacquiao fight, for that Cotto fight that we've been wanting. This opens up possibilities even for a Golovkin fight down the road. I mean, this can mean a lot of things, but before we get into everything that it does mean, I think that we need to talk about exactly what it is. And what it is a non-disclosed long-term agreement between Saul Canelo Álvarez and HBO. Ken Hershman was in attendance for the press conference announcing of Canelo signing back to HBO, and I just want to direct you guys over to the YouTube. We have the full the full conference call, and we have the full press conference on the YouTube channel. But a lot of things were said. The biggest is the title of the show, right? Canelo and HBO are looking to take back Mexican Independence Day, Cinco de Mayo. We're taking that back from Mayweather, is their words, Beeb. So this is why this little signing is just so much bigger and just so much more, I guess, dramatical, because not only are they just going there, but they're also coming to ruffle the feathers. They're coming to challenge the pound for pound king. The man who's been fighting on these dates for the past umpteen years.
Yes, they are. They most definitely are. I mean, you know, it's only fitting that a Mexican fight on a Mexican holiday, and that's what a lot of boxing fans have been saying. And you know, he always tends to fight, and when I say he, I mean Mayweather tends to fight a Hispanic fighter, and you know, now the most popular Hispanic fighter in the world is going to be rivaling him. So that's what makes this so interesting, and it brings you back to the days of De La Hoya when Don King took all those fighters over to Showtime. He took Trinidad, he took Tyson, he took Chavez, took Terry Norris, took Julian Jackson, took all those guys, and then HBO pulled a rabbit out of the hat, and then they got De La Hoya, and then ironically enough, all those guys from that Showtime stable, they wanted to fight De La Hoya, and Trinidad ended up coming back to HBO and fighting De La Hoya. So people want to write HBO off, saying they're done. They said that Showtime was the new force because of Al Heyman and how Heyman was using Showtime as the avenue, he was using them as the catalyst to get his fighters dates. But as I've said, recently to you, and I've been saying it to a lot of people, he's got all these fighters, but we're not getting the fights we want regardless. So, a manager's job isn't to give us the best fights. A manager's job is to make his fighter the most money. And a promoter's job is geared more towards getting us the big fights, getting us the fights that we want, because it's their job to put on the shows that people are going to pay for. The promoter doesn't care if you pay for the show or the manager doesn't care if you pay for the show or not, as long as he got the fighter the deal that he wanted to get, the deal that got that fighter the most money. So I'm going to choose the lesser of two evils here, and I'm kind of getting behind the promoter. I'm on the promoter side, because De La Hoya, to me, and it remains to be seen, but to me, the evidence suggests that he is looking to put on good fights. He's going to try and get Cotto Canelo. He's going to try and get Cotto Pacquiao. He's going to try and get Cotto Golovkin. These are the matchups, and even Canelo. I meant to say Canelo Golovkin. And even Canelo Kirkland is a very, very intriguing matchup. So I just think this move is great for boxing. I think this shakes things up a little bit, and it just shows that HBO still has power. HBO still is the strength. HBO is not going away. They're not going to cower, and they're not going to tuck tail and run. This is a huge power move, and I believe that this kid Alvarez is going to be the biggest star in boxing when Mayweather leaves. He's going to be the heir apparent, in my opinion. That remains to be seen. Maybe I'm being overly optimistic, but that is just what I believe.
Well, I don't know. Should I really dive right into that? Because, like I said before, we're on two different sides of that. I'm still optimistic. Yeah, right now, for the short term, Canelo going to HBO, it can give us 3 fights. 3 fights that we would like, Pacquiao, Cotto, Golovkin. And then it could water us down with the likes of Clottey and, a fairly entertaining fight with Andy Lee and, the winner of Moderation versus Nelson. It could do that as well. And, that's the problem. But what I'm optimistic about is not only that Heyman would give us another year like 2013, because, of course, the proof is in the pudding. Yeah, people say, hey, Ness, but he didn't give us nothing this year. Well, this is strategical. It has to be at this point. It has to be. But Canelo, on the other hand, and Oscar, well, Oscar more than Canelo, because Canelo, it seems like he's going to finish out his career on HBO. The emphasis on long-term contract was so heavy on that conference call and in that press conference that they didn't want to release how long. They're just telling you it's that long. And but Oscar, on the other hand, he feels that this move shouldn't close any doors for him. But Dan Rayfield was on the conference call, and he immediately asked Oscar, well, you know, Espinoza said some things, and again, go to our YouTube channel for the conference call. It's called Superstar Canelo Álvarez signs the HBO, something like that. So, you know, Dan Rayfield asked him, so he said that Espinoza had some words to say, something, and this is paraphrasing with some of the actual words. Basically, he spoke to Espinoza, and Espinoza told him that he felt it was wrong of Oscar De La Hoya to do anything with HBO since they had a verbal agreement. Again, head to the conference call and listen to that. So Oscar thinks the doors aren't closed, but this might have closed the doors in his face, B, because now
Absolutely.
Canelo's on HBO. But what happens to all of your other guys that aren't on HBO? And before you jump in, I just want to you know, say that guys, Gabe Rosado is signed to HBO. I mean, signed to Golden Boy, and he was also going to be on that Bernard card. And now there's rumors of what's his name, Luis Carlos Abregu versus Saddam Ali. So, whoa. Saddam Ali really being thrown in tough. We seen what happened the last time Abregu fought an up-and-coming prospect. But, Beeb, your thoughts on the fact that, okay, Oscar got, you know, Canelo a dream deal, but what about the rest of his fighters? Where do they stand?
You know, I think a lot of this, again, is going to be based upon what the fighter wants to do and what their management wants to do. Oscar, I think, has kind of preached all along that he doesn't want to just deal with one network. He wants to take it back to the days when he could work on both networks. But the problem is these networks are still, I don't know if you would say they're still rivaling, because obviously there's been talk of them getting together to try to make this Mayweather-Pacquiao deal. So it just seems to me that the only person involved in this, and again, this is just speculation, it just, the evidence suggests this, is the only person that kind of doesn't want to work with certain people is Heyman for some reason. I mean, it seems like he doesn't want to work with HBO exclusively. I think a lot of his fighters, he wants to showcase them on Showtime. I think that's the network of choice for Heyman fighters. And instead of back in the day when Heyman would kind of shop them to both networks kind of evenly, he's leaning too much towards Showtime. And obviously, I think that kind of made Oscar.
Wait a minute.
I'm not done. 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 Wait. I'm not done.
Your information isn't right, though.
I'm not done. I'm not done. No one has right information. I said I'm speculating. So basically, you know, he used to use both networks earlier in his career. He used HBO with Berto and Chad Dawson when he had those two guys. So the thing is I think that, you know, he's had a situation where he wants to work with Showtime, and I know HBO kind of said that they started it off when they said they weren't going to work with Golden Boy fighters, but that was an issue, I think, where the demands were becoming too strong, that there was just too much wanted for Heyman. Like, there's, in other words, Heyman, I think, wanted too many deals like he had with Berto, and HBO didn't want to lock fighters in at that particular time, and I think there was a friction between HBO and Heyman because of that. So that's why I think we ended up where we got to last year and the year before, and somewhat where we are right now. So that's the problem I think happened, where HBO didn't want to just give all these cushy deals to every fighter that Heyman had, and Heyman wanted a cushy deal for all of his fighters, and it seems like Showtime is willing to, you know, buy just about anything Heyman throws at them, where on the other hand, HBO was more selective with the matchups. So I think that's where the bad blood, you know, started. And again, you know, hopefully moving forward, you know, Heyman will give us good matchups, because right now he hasn't shown us any indication that he's going to. Now, go ahead.
Man, I have no clue. What was the point of all that? What's like?
The point is basically De La Hoya is looking to work with both networks and his goal is to get and give you the best matchups. Whereas Heyman obviously wants to make money for his fighters and get his fighters the cushy deals. He wants to get everybody that Andre Berto deal where they're locked in to a certain fee, a certain minimum, and they can fight whoever they want. And I don't believe that HBO wanted to do that. And it seems to be that Showtime is doing that right now. So I guess the point what I'm trying to make is HBO is giving you quality and Showtime is just giving you quantity. And you have to make a decision on what you want to buy. Do you want to just watch any fight that's thrown at you, or do you want to be geared towards the good matchups? And given Canelo's recent history of fighting everybody, he's going to fight the matchups that we want to see. He's going to fight Pacquiao. He's going to fight possibly Cotto. He may even fight Triple G. So I guess what I'm trying to get at is, it looks nice and bright right now, this HBO deal. The potential looks very, very enticing to me. I'm excited about it. Whereas if Heyman keeps up doing what he's been doing recently, giving me Peter Quillen versus I don't even know the guy's name, Danny Jacobs, the guy he fought there, the Australian guy. If he keeps giving me Rod Sulka, Danny Garcia, if that's the plan that Heyman has, then I'm more excited about what Golden Boy and HBO have to offer with Canelo right now. I guess that's my point.
B, you're such a casual fan. You're so fickle. Because
okay, whatever that means. Whatever that means.
Okay, I didn't interrupt you. Last year you were happy. You were happy. And Showtime could do no wrong.
No, never said that.
And when Golden Boy took everyone to Showtime and started showing us that they could still produce good fights, we were happy. So now you're gonna jump the gun again.
No.
A guy that talks about history so much.
No. Again, you're taking everything out of context. Because let's go back to what I said last year when everybody was waving the show. Well, not everybody. You had your Heyman T-shirt on, and you had the Showtime logo on the back of it, and you were telling everybody how Showtime was going to take over and they were going to crush HBO, and the numbers suggest otherwise. What I had said to you was, don't count your chickens before they hatch, because this happened before. This is all cyclical, as I said. Cyclical. It goes in cycles, basically. Okay? Right now, they're going to give you a patch of good fights, but HBO is going to come right back, which they did. So, again, this whole thing reminds me, as I said, I hate to sound redundant, but I want to repeat it one more time, just so everyone else can get what I'm saying. When Don King took everyone to Showtime, and then everyone thought HBO was gone then, and this is the same thing I said last year. We've seen this all happen again. And then you sit there and you want to say, oh, well, you think that people don't learn from their mistakes. Of course people learn from their mistakes, but why would you follow a blueprint that has already been tried before and has failed? That's like Hitler failed, and then Saddam Hussein tried to do the same thing, and he failed. So it's like, why repeat yourself doing something that didn't work before? It makes no sense. This is the same plan, the same type of situation that we were in many times before with the different cast of characters. Boxing is too big for one person to run it. One man is not bigger than boxing. And history has shown us that, and history will continue to show us that. And Bob Arum realizes this. Oscar De La Hoya realizes this. HBO realizes this. And there's only one man that does not realize this, or two people that don't realize this. Al Heyman and Nestor Gibbs. And that's why I think you're wrong. So if you think that someone following the same plan that's been followed before and has failed many times is going to work now, then what's the definition of insanity, my friend? Doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result. You're insane if you think it's going to work.
Well, my defense to that. First, Beeb, you're not paying attention over there, but your camera is off. And
I know it's off because I'm trying to fix this preset that's not working. That's why I turned it off, because I'm turning my preset on, but it won't come on. So I'm trying to fix it so I can get it on. You know?
All right, so yeah, I guess we're not gonna keep this on Canelo, and we're gonna make this a Heyman thing here. Yeah, I'm still optimistic. I don't think it's the same blueprint, because where Don King went wrong was, of course, the finances. There was always a fighter that had an issue with being paid or not being able to fight. There was always some sort of scandal when it came to Don King. And that's the difference with Al Heyman. He has happy customers. His entire stable are walking billboards and an advertisement for the next fighter. Not only that, again, you and many others pointed out that Don King had a lot of fighters. Oh, okay. But Al Heyman is on a manhunt. He just signed Jonathan Gonzalez, Mantequilla, okay? So keep adding, all right? And the thing is this. He still has Showtime, and he clearly is going to have NBC next year, right? So if on NBC he ends up giving us ESPN level fights with his up-and-comers, and on Showtime he gives us what he gave us in 2013, he does have the stable to do it, because let's not forget that he has more fighters than both Golden Boy and Top Rank put together. Okay, Golden Boy, check their Twitter. I don't know how recently they updated, but check their Twitter, and on their bio it says they have over 70 fighters. Not over 80, not over 90, not over 100, not over 110. Okay, so I'm not saying that he's good, he's bad. Listen, this is a power move. He's putting himself in position clearly. His fighters are fighting nobodies, wearing their contracts out until he has them all to themselves. Remember, who over there on Golden Boy is still with Golden Boy?
Well, we don't know the whole backdoor deals that are going on. We don't know really who's with who. I mean, there's just so much things that aren't being told to us.
Right.
So
Not even Oscar, because axed on camera, he can't tell you how many.
You know, and again, I'm not so caught up in this quantity thing as I am with quality. I don't care. Like, if you give me 1,000 pieces of shit, I'd rather take 10 beautiful things than 1,000 pieces of shit. So I don't care how many fighters you have. That's all well and good. Give me the fights. You have the best fighter in the world in your stable, and people are complaining about the guys that he's fighting. People are unhappy with the guys that he's fighting. People weren't happy with this rematch with Maidana. So now you have Canelo fighting guys like Lara, getting ready to fight guys like Cotto, possibly getting ready to fight Pacquiao at some point. And this is better. This is, as I told you earlier in the day, you're a website owner. I work with you. I'm one of your partners. We write, we cover fights. Now, it's better for us to get to be able to report and write about intriguing fights than to write about Danny Garcia versus Rod Sulka. So, from our vantage point, Al Heyman right now is not good for boxing, because he's not giving us fights, good fights, and exciting fights to write about, to talk about, and to report on. So that's not good for us, because who's going to come to our site to read about Danny Garcia versus Rod Salka. So I don't care. If I was a fighter, then Al Heyman would be my man. I would love Al Heyman, but I'm not a fighter. I work with Nestor Gibbs at theboxingvoice.com. I'm the editor for theboxingvoice.com, and when I'm doing stories and I'm posting articles to the site, I'd rather post a Canelo Cotto fight or a Canelo Triple G fight or a Canelo Kirkland fight or a Canelo Martirosyan fight. I'd rather post fights like that and write up and have to edit articles written about that than have to worry than write about Danny Jacobs versus some guy I don't know, versus Peter Quinlan versus some guy I don't know. Fernando Guerrero, John Molina, with all due respect. I mean, he's signing up everybody. It's almost like he's just trying to sign everybody, and just for the simple fact that he just wants to take them away from someone else. And he doesn't really know what he wants to do with all these guys. He's not going to be able to make all these guys happy. And you sit there and talk about, again, I don't think you understand this. Why would someone sue him? Because he is not cutting checks. He is paying people with the promoter's money. The promoter is paying his fighters. He is not paying his fighters. Don King was the guy that was cutting checks. So he's the guy that is going to do the shady things. So Heyman's got a great position right now. He's negotiating contracts for fighters, and he's getting money for the fighters through the promoter, through the network. He's not coming out of pocket with paying these fighters. So why would someone sue him? Why would someone sue him? He's not in the position to screw any fighter over because he's not cutting checks. So why would he be scrutinized like that? Okay? Why would he? The only time a manager gets sued, basically, is when a fighter's trying to get out of the contract. It's very rarely do you see managers sue, fighters sue. You do see it, but the majority of the reason why a fighter will sue a manager is because he's trying to get out of the contract with that person. So he'll try to sue that manager for negligence, or not getting him, not doing the due diligence to get him the fights that he wants or whatever, or mishandling his career. There are times when, okay, they will sue for money, but very, very rarely. Promoters are the ones that get sued for money because they're cutting checks. Go.
Yeah, man, I don't know what that was. I just want to make a disclaimer that Beeb is not an attorney. Don't take any legal advice from him.
Okay, so Al Heyman paid Mayweather his $32 million. Golden Boy didn't. Golden Boy's logo was not on that check. It was Al Heyman's logo on that check.
Is
that what happened? I mean, is that true?
Did Ari Gold fucking pay the dude from Entourage? Dude, everyone has a corporation.
So promoters don't pay the fighters then. Promoters don't pay fighters, Nestor? Promoters don't pay fighters. That's not how fighters get paid. They don't get paid by promoters. They get paid by managers? Is that what you're saying? Is that how it's done? Do I need a law degree to figure that out? When my bill comes every month from Comcast Cable, do I need a law degree to know that I'm paying Comcast Cable, I'm not paying a manager? Do I need to know that? I mean, it's just basic knowledge. Victor, who pays fighters? Managers or promoters?
Promoters.
Well, okay then. So why would a fighter have the need to sue a manager if he's not the source of the revenue? He's not the source of the fighter's income. Why would the fighter have a beef with that? Why would the fighter have a beef with a manager unless he wanted to break free of that manager's contract? What's the only reason why a fighter would more or less have a beef with a fucking manager? Tell me. I mean, am I wrong?
Beeb,
I need a law degree to figure that out?
Beeb, do you understand that you're narrowing the only possibility that a fighter could sue a manager down?
I didn't say that. I said, again, out of context. I said, for the majority of the reason why a manager gets sued is because a fighter wants to break free of the contract. I'm not saying that managers have never mishandled finances for a fighter. If a fighter puts financial or gives that manager fiduciary responsibilities, which that fighter could do, and then the guy mishandles his funds, absolutely that could happen. But more often than not, okay, fighters just don't have managers now. Now they have attorneys. Now they have legal advisors. Now they have financial advisors. So a fighter's team is much larger than it was way back in the day. So Heyman's job for Mayweather and most of his fighters is to negotiate contracts. Okay, that's what he does. He doesn't pay them. He's not giving them money. So why would someone chase him and go after him if he's not the guy cutting checks? That's why. It's a big difference.
Contract, B. The most obvious reason is something could be wrong with the contract, and he's in charge of that. But why are we arguing or debating or talking about him allegedly, maybe not, I don't know, being sued? That's fucking, you're grasping at straws.
You keep bringing up the fact that Don King got sued.
Why are we even talking about it?
Because you keep bringing up the fact that Don King got sued and he didn't. So stop bringing that up, and I won't have to keep teaching you the logistics of why.
How is you wasting all that time taking anything?
Because you, again, Nestor, you keep bringing up the fact that Don King got.
Anyway, how is anything that he's saying taking away from the fact that one?
Because you keep bringing up the fact that Don King got sued and he didn't.
Very simple.
You understand that?
I don't get it.
You understand that? Because you keep defending Heyman, his credibility, and using it the fact that he's never gotten sued before. And I told you he's gotten sued before when he was a promoter. Because Beyonce sued him.
Are fighters happy or unhappy with Heyman?
They're happy. But our fans happy with Heyman. I'm not happy with Heyman. Vic, are you happy with Heyman right now?
You're not happy with him this year.
Are you happy with the fights? Are you happy with the fights that Heyman gave us this year, Vic?
No.
Okay. So that's all I'm saying. Ness, you're not a fighter. So why are you happy?
I am not.
Why are you happy?
I never said that I was.
Then stop defending.
I never said that I was.
Then stop defending the guy. He's bad for boxing. He's good for boxers, but he's bad for boxing. That's all I'm saying. And everybody knows this, and everybody agrees with this, and everybody admits this, except for you. We could have 20 people call in right now, and 99% of them are going to say he's bad for boxing because monopolies do not work. They always fail.
Okay, so you were not unhappy with Heyman in 2013.
I was, on the whole. Yes, I was.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I got one fight from him that I really liked in 2013, and that was Garcia Matisse. Name another fight that I loved that was his.
Well, Broner Maidana wasn't bad. I'll take that.
Laura Canelo, Trout Canelo, Trout Cotto.
But he was always working with the Golden Boy fighter. So Golden Boy gets half the credit for those shows. It's not all of him.
Hey Vic, I'm gonna talk to Vic, man, because clearly when I try to talk to you, you don't even listen or allow me to talk. Vic, let me ask you something.
You're giving the guy too much credit, Nestor.
Vic, I'm talking to Vic. Vic, let me ask you something. Why are we trying to divide Al Heyman into two different people? Al Heyman, right? Al Heyman, the one that puts his fighters versus his fighters, and then there's another Al Heyman that fights Golden Boy fighters. Let me ask you, as a manager, it's not his job to get the fighter the fights that he wants. A guy like Laura that couldn't get the fight that he wanted, signed to Al Heyman, got the fight that he wanted. A guy like Trout that was always plagued on ESPN and never got the fight, signed to Al Heyman and got the fight. A guy like Matisse that couldn't get the big shot versus Danny Garcia, the one that he wanted, the one that Beeb is defending, Golden Boy, had him signed to Golden Boy. They never gave him Danny Garcia. They never gave him Amir Khan, did they? No, they didn't. Who gave him to him? Fucking Al Heyman gave it to him, okay? Who gave you Canelo and Mayweather? Al Heyman did. So
he doesn't give me fights. Promoters give you fights. He's not a promoter. He's a manager. He doesn't make fights. He can't make a fight.
I ain't got time for him. Listen, so how are you going to tell me that you're only going to judge him on 1 year? You can't. In anything that you do, you judge throughout the existence of. So last year or the year before that, was he bad? No. No. Clearly something is going on. We've seen that. Richard Schaefer's no longer there. Now Mayweather has a license. Al Heyman opened some sort of what's the company he opened in Nevada, Vic?
It's called Heyman Boxing.
Okay. So
I mean, he had last year he was good, but I mean, his history repeats itself. I mean, what he's doing at HBO, he's essentially just did at Showtime.
You're right.
He's doing the same thing. I mean, he not only has he shitted on one network, he shitted on another, and the only way he's probably gonna, still be in boxing if Steven Espinoza still has a job is when he starts his own network, if that's the rumor.
My question to you, Vic, is this: do you feel that this year would have looked this way if Oscar De La Hoya would have never came out of rehab and found out whatever he found out and caused the rift between Golden Boy, which led to the departure of Richard Schaefer?
Probably not.
Okay, then.
But it was bound to happen. One way or another, Al Heyman was going to do what he does.
Okay, you're right. And my thing is this. Clearly, there's a plan. There was a plan. And clearly, he has power. He stopped. He matumboed Jay-Z and Golden Boy and Top Rank and HBO. Did he not?
Yeah, because like I said, I mean, you pay me $500,000 to drop a belt, I'm dropping that belt.
All right then.
I'm saying he's good for fighters. He's good for fighters. I give him that. But I mean, somebody took a halt against him, and that was Ken Hershman. And Espinoza is basically the new Ross Greenberg at Showtime.
My thing is, what's going to happen next year?
I don't know.
I mean, I want you to guess. Give me your theory. What's going to happen next year if right now he has this many fighters signed? What's going to happen next year? And remember that he doesn't have to steal fighters. Abner Mars was already with Golden Boy and left to Heyman. Amir Khan was already with Golden Boy and signed to Heyman. Maidana, Matisse, Garcia. I don't see why is he being blamed for giving the fighters what they want. Now, my thing is this. I'm not happy right now. No. I'm not backing him right now. No. All I'm saying is he's going to be here. You don't have 120 plus fighters and don't think you're going to be in this business. I think that eventually he's going to dry up the fucking market. He's going to have all the fighters.
But where are these fighters going to fight, though? Where are these fighters going to fight?
On Showtime and NBC. And Showtime.
I don't know. That's a tough stretch because NBC, okay, that's fine. I mean, neither. I mean, unless it's regular NBC, neither does the HBO numbers.
Well, that may be true, but remember, NBC Sports Kathy Duva is not the same as NBC Sports Al Heyman.
Nah, you're not. It's just not. The viewership's not there, man.
No, Vic.
Viewership's not there, dude. It's not.
You got names. Come on, man. Don't give me that.
I mean, yeah, you're not gonna tune in. The casual fan isn't tuning into NBC Sports for boxing, dude. You're not gonna get big numbers. You're not.
I don't know. I don't know if that's it again. But what about Showbox and Showtime? Because
again, still those numbers. The only guys that are comparable that draw numbers on Showtime is one Adrian Broner and maybe Danny Garcia.
Something is bound to happen because Espinoza. Did you listen to the conference call?
I heard half of it, yeah.
Or did you see at least the quotes from Espinoza?
Well, I seen Espinoza on Twitter, pretty much saying they had a verbal agreement for Canelo. Well, I mean that verbal agreement didn't matter when he took Adonis Stevenson from HBO, apparently.
So, but what's that mean for Oscar De La Hoya's relationship with Steven Espinoza?
I mean that's on Steven Espinoza. That's on now. I mean, it's clear we're gonna have a new Cold War. It's gonna be Top Rank Golden Boy versus Heyman Mayweather. So, one Cold War ends, the other one begins. That's what it is.
I just don't know. I just don't know because I've been talking to so many people, especially today. DeBella has no problem dealing with Heyman. Leo Margolis has no problem dealing with Heyman.
Well, that's his new go-to guys right now.
But they don't have. But look, DeBella's been dealing with Heyman since forever. Remember, Paul Williams was one of the.
But I mean, he basically. What happened with Andre Berto?
DeBella promoted him.
DeBella promoted him until Al Heyman said you ain't promoting him no more.
Well, yeah, you're right.
I'm saying these guys, Al Heyman got these fuckers by the balls, and the only people to stand up to him are on the other side.
On what other side?
I mean, obviously Oscar did it. Aaron doesn't fuck with him. Ken Hershman said peace.
But again, it's the fighters. All those guys that you mentioned want what? More money for them.
But who's paying that money?
The network.
The one guy that's acting like Ross Greenberg.
Okay.
Who by next year might not have a fucking job.
The problem.
No, Ross Greenberg got fired for losing Manny Pacquiao for one fight. This dude lost Canelo for good. For good.
Yeah.
He ain't never coming back.
Yeah. I don't know.
And then he wants to go out there and say, oh, well, we declined Josh Clottey, blah 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 blah. But if Josh Clottey was Al Heyman, guess who Canelo's fighting on Showtime? He's fighting Josh Clottey. But because Josh Clottey isn't with Al Heyman, nope. I mean, this guy fucking approved Salka. He approved Fletcher. He approved this, but has an issue with Josh Clottey out of nowhere.
Well,
Come on, man. That guy. He's a puppet, dude. He's a puppet. He's an Al Heyman puppet.
But you know that he's gonna criticize.
Of course he's gonna criticize, but no one's on his side. No one. There's not one sane person in the boxing world that sides with Espinoza right now, especially with this move from Canelo.
I don't know, man. I think that you guys are banking a lot on this Canelo thing.
I think it's huge.
Yeah, but he's beatable. He doesn't beat Triple G.
But that doesn't matter. If you're taking the best fights and you lose, Chavez still draws big numbers.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
I think people respect more the fact that you're willing to take on all comers and they'll watch you again. I mean, look, Gabe Rosado. I mean, how many times has he lost? But we still see him because people respect the fact that he's willing to fight top guys.
Are you gonna pay to see him?
Well, you're not gonna pay to see him aside from HBO because
All right then, but
He wasn't built like that. He's not built like that. They didn't build him up like that. He never had a promoter until recently.
listen, he's getting a December fight for free, but the next fight is pay-per-view.
Absolutely, because it's 2 pay-per-views and 1 regular HBO.
Exactly. So you're paying for him.
Well, I mean, the Mexicans are. He's trying to take September and May back. I mean, that's a tough task to take it for the man that's held it down for the last 4 or 5 years.
I don't know, man. Either way that he goes, it's a tough route because if he's got 2 pay-per-views, Vic, he's got to face Cotto and Golovkin because Chavez would be too big unless he's going to move up and give up weight because, yeah, he gets up to 175, but that's no advantage.
What did he say? Didn't he say Cotto? Didn't he say Chavez? Didn't he say Pacquiao? I mean, I don't know where the fuck they get that from. I mean, yeah, Pacquiao clearly said he's not fighting above 147 since the Margarito fight. But whatever. It's a shame that Pacquiao-Canelo is more makeable than Pacquiao-Mayweather. Even though I don't think Pacquiao-Canelo happens. I mean, that's... What's Canelo going to come in, 152 again? You can't make 154 anymore. I don't know.
Well, that's the point. That one of those pay-per-views is going to be with a bad guy.
But what if it's Andrade?
Well,
I mean, you got opponents out there. I'm not putting it past Canelo that he'll fight guys like that. I'm not pulling it past him that he'll fight a Golovkin. I mean, he's done that the last few times. The guys who wanted to fight, he's fought.
Yeah, you know what, man? That's why I like talking to you because I forgot about the Andrade fight. That could be big, especially if Andrade goes up and takes that belt at 160. Then he has both belts like Mayweather at 154 and 160. Or did he drop the 154 pounds?
I think he's dropping the 154 one.
I called him a bunch of times today too. His phone was going straight to voicemail.
Yeah, I mean, there's fights. If you want to match him up, there's fights, and there's.
Yeah, but that's only one dude. That's one dude in one division.
You got 3 fights right there that could be on pay-per-view in the next 2 or 3 years.
Yeah, but Vic, what do you think? He's gonna have to fight these fights back to back. That's one fight.
No, you got 2 pay-per-views, and then you got a regular one, which will probably be a tune-up, or setting up something else.
Yeah, but again, it's only that. Then what?
I mean, then what? Mayweather has 6 fights, and we've only been happy with 2 opponents, maybe. I mean, we weren't happy with Guerrero. I mean, I don't know who was. You had Canelo, and then it's been Maidana. I mean, we weren't calling for Maidana the first time. The rematch, all right.
Okay.
And now he's stuck ass. He might sit out a year because he's got no one to fight. I mean, the Khan fight is there, but how many people really want to see that fight?
That's what I wanted to talk about. This show took a loop because of fucking Beeb. But what we're supposed to be talking about is the fact that Canelo's going after the Cinco de Mayo date and September 13th in Mexican independence.
Well, for him to do that, he's got to have a big a similar A side or a big B side.
No, Beeb. There's no. I mean, Vic. There's no for him. You didn't. Oh, you got to get on that conference call, brother.
No, I'm saying, but for him to take that, the thing is, DirecTV, Comcast, and all these other people are not going to put 2 pay-per-views on the same day. It's just not going to happen. So in order for Canelo to steal those dates from Mayweather is still the fucking franchise. Don't get it wrong. Whether this shit was 772,000 buys or 925, those are still 2 good numbers. Just because he fucking makes $32 million, of course it looks bad. But for anybody else, those are awesome numbers. If Pacquiao was doing 900, people will be, that's great numbers for Pacquiao. If fucking Cotto or Canelo even get close to 772, great numbers for those 2 guys. The fact of the matter is, unless you got a strong B side or similar A side, if you're Canelo Álvarez, you're not taking those 2 dates away from Mayweather. Now Cotto, yeah. Unless Floyd fights Manny Pacquiao, ain't no fight Floyd can make that's gonna be bigger than Cotto Canelo. If he fights Andrade on September, whatever, I don't shit. Floyd would probably laugh at that dude. Like, hi, you serious?
Yeah, but the problem is this, Vic. Who the fuck is Floyd gonna fight that's better than Canelo Cotto?
I mean, it's a good point.
And then
that's a good point. For me to be like, yeah, Canelo can do this. He's gotta have a pay-per-view where he at least does 500,000. At least.
Listen, Vic.
350 ain't gonna scare Mayweather.
Vic, I don't know if you have been reading or not, but people are jumping ship on the Mayweather. And I'm not talking about just fans, the people in the world in general. If he doesn't have a good opponent, the networks are going to go with Canelo.
You think so?
Hell yeah, man. Even the Las Vegas betting line were upset. I read that. You didn't read that?
Nah, honestly, after we did the interview with King, I jumped on the conference call, and then I had to take some phone calls at work, so I wasn't. Obviously, I'm gonna look at our videos and I'm gonna read the transcript from the conference call and do some other stuff. But yeah, it was a pretty busy day for me. But I'm just saying, like, I don't know if that number was 925. I still think people care, and it doesn't matter who he fights. But I mean, you don't think Amir Khan, Floyd Mayweather does good numbers, and if it goes up against Canelo Andrade, people won't tune into more Mayweather than Canelo?
Vic, you and I both know that Amir Khan Mayweather doesn't do more than Canelo Cotto because...
No, I won't do better than that. No, I agree.
Because Amir Khan's pay-per-views are international, so that doesn't count.
Okay, I mean, it's not going to do better than Cotto Canelo, but I mean, if it's September, it's Canelo Andrade.
Yeah, but this
is Mayweather Khan. I'm just saying that you don't think Mayweather Khan is a little bit.
All right. You tell me this now. If they do Canelo Cotto first, right?
And he wins.
He wins. Andrade Canelo is big because Andrade
will have another belt.
We're assuming that Andrade now has 2 titles and has proven that he is a very good boxer. You think that fucking Khan versus Floyd is gonna be better? Man, who's gonna buy it?
You're right. I mean, you still got those TMT motherfuckers, man. I mean, they'll buy anything Floyd does.
Don't get me wrong. I'm pretty sure we're gonna get a bunch of UK callers that say, oh my God, we totally forgot about the callers today. It's all Beep's fault. Blame it on Beep. But I'm pretty sure we're gonna get a lot of UK callers that will say, Amir Khan Mayweather does better numbers than Andrade, but you got to think all these assumptions have to come into play, which are Canelo beating Cotto that just beat Martinez. Casual fans know that. Casual fans remember, especially in the U.S., they remember him being beat up a lot. That's what we remember, man. I'm just saying. Let's get to some callers here. Robbie, what's up, brother? Talk to me.
Well, wow, I wish I had as much time as Beeb did, because, first of all, if Canelo wants to steal the May and September dates from Mayweather, because Vic is absolutely right, all of the cable companies and satellite providers are not going to allow both networks to have pay-per-views on the same day. That just won't happen.
Yeah, they just lose money. They just lose money that way.
There's not enough boxing fans in this country to support 2 pay-per-views on the same day.
Well, they don't do it anyway. Bob Arum told us that a couple of years ago. They won't allow 2 pay-per-views, so it doesn't matter. And that's why I'm telling you, the more compelling fight is what they're going to gravitate to. Las Vegas is going to have a better odds for Cotto Canelo than they're going to have for Amir Khan versus Mayweather. I mean, at this point, Vic, hold on a minute, Robbie. At this point, Vic, what in the world could Amir Khan be on the betting line? 12-1, 7-1?
I go 8.5, 8 to 1.
And what do you think Cotto Canelo would be?
It'd be probably even money, slightly favors toward Canelo, maybe.
All right then, the more compelling fight. So Vegas is either gonna push that, right?
Oh yeah, I mean you're gonna push that. You got the biggest Mexican star right now, or I mean, I don't know if you want to call him the biggest, Chavez, Marquez, but certainly top 2, top 3 Mexican star in his prime. Again, still the biggest Puerto Rican star. So.
And no, the only way that Canelo can totally steal both of those dates is if he fights Cotto in May and then Golovkin in September. There's nothing Floyd could do if Canelo signed up fights with Cotto and Golovkin. There's absolutely nothing Floyd could do except for fighting Pacquiao that would even come close to the numbers that Canelo would get for those 2 fights alone.
All right, let me just tell everybody.
But you guys really think that star power is there? I mean, it's already there. It's already there.
Let me just make an announcement really quick. If you guys want to get on, remember, call in 646-478-3068. The live feed is going to go off in 4 minutes, but we do get, recorded time, which will end up on the podcast, and it's also going to still be live on YouTube. So 646-478-3068 and press 1. All right, go ahead, Vic.
I mean, you both think that star power is already there?
With Canelo, yes, Vic, because Canelo Álvarez is the one fighter in this world who will take on anybody, and he's got the power to demand whoever he wants to fight. I mean, we had a show yesterday talking about Golovkin and how people are avoiding him. Canelo, people don't avoid him. As soon as Canelo says, I want to fight this person, they're willing to sign up. So, yes, I think the power is there for him to fight both Cotto and Canelo or whoever he wants.
Well, Cotto and Canelo would be fighting each other, so who's the second one?
No, I'm saying that Cotto would fight Canelo in May, and then he could fight Golovkin in September.
Now, the problem also becomes, and I'm going to get to some other callers right now, the problem also becomes this, though, Vic. If Cotto fights, he's still the A side. So
I mean, it's up for debate.
No, he's not. He's not the A side. He's not the A side.
Well, he has a better track record with pay-per-views.
He does, but he's still at the A side. It's 50-50.
I think it's more 50-50. I agree. I think it's more
50-50.
I highly doubt that it's going to be 50-50 when Cotto has the. Wait a minute, Beeb. Cotto has the middleweight title. I
mean, that does mean something. That does mean something.
That means something. That means something.
He's not. He'll walk away from the fight. Listen, Canelo needs Cotto more than Cotto needs Canelo.
I think they both need each other right now if they want to get a big money fight.
No.
Well, I mean, if they both want to make over $10 million, they need each other.
They both to get each of them to get the biggest payday.
Okay, so let me ask you this.
To get the biggest payday without Mayweather is to fight each other.
Okay, let me ask you this, Vic. Cotto versus Andrade. Is that a bigger pay-per-view in HBO's eyes than Canelo versus Andrade?
I think it's about the same.
Man,
I think Canelo's bigger. I think Canelo would be bigger.
You guys are all right. We're gonna take some callers. You guys are clearly crazy. We'll find out.
Can I say something?
Go ahead.
Let me ask you this. Let's just do the math. Now, when Mayweather fought Canelo, it was 2.2 million buys, right? And then when he fights Maidana, it's 925. So would it be safe to say that Canelo brought $1 million to that dance?
90 seconds.
No?
I don't know that he brought it. I think the fact that it was a compelling fight, but I don't think that if $1 million of those subscribers were his, where were they?
It had nothing to do with him, though, right?
He
didn't bring that, though.
If $1 million of those subscribers were his, where were they for the other 2 pay-per-views that he did?
Well, they were there for that one, though.
Okay, but Mayweather still gets very close to $1 million without Canelo. Why isn't Canelo getting close to $1 million? If you're saying half and half. Oh, I didn't think so.
Canelo gets credit for $1 million. He gets credit for a great deal of that turnout.
Not $1 million.
Coupled with I would give him $1 million. Yeah.
So where were they? Where were they for the other 2 pay-per-views?
They didn't show up for the other fights
because they don't exist. But they are gonna grow. Don't get me wrong.
But when Canelo was in his 30s, like Mayweather was in his 30s when he started doing $1 million, then we can come back and talk about this.
Absolutely. I'm not the one comparing the 2 right now. That's you. You attempted to say they were 50-50.
But bitch, well, let's do the math. He does 900,000 with everyone else, but then he does 2.2 with Canelo.
Okay, so
Why?
Vic,
Why?
Vic, tell me what was the Gotti and Baldemir and Judah numbers?
They were low.
Better than Canelo's?
They weren't $1 million.
Were they not better than Canelo's?
Well, Judah and Baldemir, I don't think were. I think Gotti was.
Look it up. We don't have to think. I'm gonna take a caller.
And that was 2005. That was 2005. How old was he in 2005?
Who knows?
He's 37 now, so 26, 25?
Basing their pay-per-view, right? You wanted to start Canelo. You're calling Canelo an infant in pay-per-view, so we're going to go back to Mayweather's. We're going to go back to Mayweather's. That's all. Vic, please look that up. I'm going to go ahead and take
big pay-per-view was in 2005.
All right, I'm going to take this caller. I'm going to take a caller, B. 414, you're live. Who's this?
What's up, guys? It's Scotty from Milwaukee.
Scotty, what's up, brother?
Not much. I forgot who said it. I think Vic said it, but I agree completely. The only thing this is going to do, good for Oscar for trying to mend bridges and stuff, but I think it's going to be another Cold War. I think it's going to be Golden Boy in Top Rank versus Al Heyman, because I understand that he took a fighter away from HBO, so that's going to tick from Showtime, so that's going to tick off Showtime a little bit, and that's Espinosa a little bit. What's really going to piss them off is that they're going to try and take those dates from Floyd. So they're not just going to let that go and say, well, we'll still work with you with other fighters, this and that. He's going to try and take it out on them or steal one of their people or whatever, and it's going to lead to another Cold War. I don't see any way around it. So good on Oscar, I would say, for trying, but I don't know where it winds up.
But Scotty,
well, I think Oscar had no choice in this here.
Exactly, I was just going to say that. Don't you think?
I think he had to make his power move before Heyman made his.
Heyman and Espinosa was strong arming kind of De La Hoya, and it left him no choice but to do this.
Yeah, I think he saw the writing on the wall. Absolutely,
yeah. He was back into a corner.
Yeah, absolutely. I think he was, because after with the whole Schaefer thing and anything, he was getting pushed out right the way to go. Oh yeah, but
he had to do this. He had no choice. He had no choice but to do this.
I agree with you. So now he's going to be a B class promoter possibly. If even though
he can't be a B.
He's a powerful guy.
No.
He's going to have more pull than we think. I hope not.
Can I just say this before I was kicked off the last show? Before I was kicked off the last show in a bitch move, let me just say this.
Nasty barking. Go ahead, man.
Listen, I'm not about to argue with this guy, and he's got kicked off again. Listen, if you're not gonna let me debate or give me my opportunity, then get the fuck off. It's just that simple. Scotty, you were saying, Vic, you just got interrupted. Were you not trying to say something when Beeb talked right under you until you shut up?
Well, I don't know who talked first, but all I was saying is I don't think Oscar had a choice, and I don't think he'll be a B class promoter because you have Canelo, obviously that's a start, but I just don't think. I mean, the name Golden Boy is still up there, regardless if it's Heyman or not, if it's Heyman induced or not. He's still, Canelo is one thing, Hopkins is another thing. There's still Golden Boy. There will be a Golden Boy that's still at the top of this mountain, with Top Rank and whatever comes up from Heyman.
Yeah, I agree with that, but think about how powerful Heyman is. He gets Quillen to drop a championship belt, drop his biggest payday ever for a promise of who knows what. I mean, that's a powerful guy. And I definitely agree with Beeb. I said this on the last show when I called in. Any sort of monopoly is bad. So if Heyman does keep buying up people and gets everybody, that's bad for the fans because then he can control and dictate everything.
But my thing is, Scotty. You don't think Espinoza gets the axe sooner or later?
He loses another guy like Canelo, he will. That something else happens like this, I think he will, yeah.
Because I think, not the casuals, which they do matter, but I think...
But wait a minute, Vic. Why are we acting like it ends with Canelo? It doesn't end with Canelo. There's still Adrian Broner. There's still Keith Thurman. There's plenty of fighters out there.
I'd give you Adrian Broner. Don't get me wrong. I think he's a star. But Keith Thurman can't draw shit to flies right now. They never built him up properly. They never built him up.
You don't know.
He's fought 3 fucking rounds this year. How's that building a guy up?
Vic, it doesn't mean that he's not a ticket seller. You can't just assume that.
How do you do in the StubHub Center? How do you do in StubHub?
Exactly. How were they?
4,000 people?
Okay. He's a black fighter in fucking Mexico.
All right, that's what I'm saying. You're not building the guy up properly. It's no secret. You put Adrian Broner in Cincinnati, he does 8,000, dude. 8,000.
You're being unfair, Vic. Sergio Martinez versus Paul Williams did 4,000.
I never said Sergio Martinez was a ticket seller.
Thurman versus Julio Diaz did 4,000.
I never said Sergio Martinez was a ticket seller.
Get it together. No. What I'm telling you to do is put it in perspective.
I'm telling you right now, they're not building him up to be that star yet.
But he still has the potential because the numbers indicate that.
When are we going to see that?
The numbers indicate that. Didn't he do 800 and something thousand?
I'm not sure. I got to look that up. But what I'm trying to tell you is, why is he headlining at StubHub Center? There's no fucking reason for him to be out there.
Vic, but you're getting caught up on the little things. Why is he headlining there? You're absolutely right. He needs to be, set to his fan base. But that's not the point. The point is, somewhere he doesn't deserve to be or shouldn't be, he pulled 4,000 with an opponent that's a really bad, headline. Whereas 2 men who were already champions and proven only did 4,000. There's a lot of fighters that only do 4,000. Timothy Bradley gets $5 million, $6 million per fight, and he only does 2,000. Okay, don't forget.
Am I comparing him to Canelo? There's one thing to compare Tim Bradley to this person, but to compare it to Canelo as far as star power, Thurman is not at there yet. He's not even halfway there. I could say Broner's closer there, but he's at the headliner pay-per-view, and he does sell tickets. When you promote these guys properly and build them up, you build stars. I can't see multiple stars across the Heyman stable right now. I see one.
I think that
one, and that's Adrian Broner.
I think that when we take some more callers, we're going to have a lot of different opinions because Leo Santa Cruz, he could be a star.
He's not, though. You're sticking him on bullshit undercards.
But again, that's now because clearly there's a plan in play.
I don't know. I think people have been rubbed the wrong way with Leo Santa Cruz. They've been rubbed the wrong way with Danny Garcia and the bullshit fights. I don't know. Leo especially. Leo was a fan favorite this time last year. Now everyone doesn't want to fuck with him no more.
Well, let's see what the callers say. I'm pretty sure they're going to have some new stars. 623, you're live. Who's this?
What's going on, Ness? This is Alden from Arizona. How you doing?
I'm doing good, brother. Talk to me.
Look, man, this is how I see it. First, I think Oscar did, ideally it's a good move. I think Oscar did the right thing ultimately because, good or bad, he had to do something because Schaefer was playing them, and they were moving the company, taking the company from him, so they were playing, so Oscar had to do it. Of course, for Canelo, it's good because, Canelo right now, he's leaving the flock and creating his own nest. You know what I mean? Everyone's on Showtime. He's going on HBO. So he's doing the right thing. Now, Heyman, he's controlling a lot of the fighters, which is, they're going to him because a lot of fighters are getting paid well. They're getting contracts, which HBO wasn't given, and they're allowed to fight these little fluffy fights here and there, when HBO doesn't really allow that. But see, the thing is, at the end of the day, and I kind of agree a little bit with Beeb, at the end of the day, the promoter pays the fighter. So the promoter puts up the money for the event, not the manager. So if the manager doesn't want to make the fights that the promoter wants, it doesn't matter what Heyman wants to do, what the fighters do, because the promoter pays them. So ultimately, that's how I think it works. I think the promoters, they got to take back some power and take back and go, hey, we're going to put these fights together. And I think what Oscar did, I agree with all of you guys. It's a good or bad thing. You had to do it because Shaper, I mean, we remember all the fights. We watched Shaper with Floyd, and he wouldn't even be next to a Golden Boy fighter. I mean, that's BS. And I think all of us, including everyone, all you guys, we're sick of hearing fighters say they think Al Heyman after every fight. I think people are tired of that. I think people want to see fights. And I think Canelo is branching out to do his own thing. Like I say, he's leaving the net, leaving the flock to create his own nest. I mean, what do you think, Ness?
Well, this is my thing, brother. Heyman is in control, and the promoter can't take control from him, and I'm going to tell you why. Because the Heyman advises his fighter to take the fight or not take the fight.
Yes.
So it doesn't matter what the promoter does, because the promoter, he's never going to do enough because the deal is always set with Heyman. So he doesn't even talk to the fighter. He doesn't even talk to the fighter. He has to go to Heyman and say, look, man, we want Canelo to fight Laura. Or Heyman goes to Golden Boy and says, we want Laura to fight Canelo. What's it going to take?
Oh, no, I get that, Ness, but at the end of the day, how Heyman get paid? Heyman gets paid when the promoter pays the fighter, and then Heyman takes a check takes a cut from the fighter. So at the end of the day, if the promoters aren't putting up the money, all you're going to be is a manager with a bunch of fighters.
As long as he has enablers, he's going to get away with it. And right now, he's being enabled by Steven Espinoza.
Exactly. So I agree with everybody what you guys are saying. And out of all people, Espinoza, I mean, he used to be, I think, an attorney for Golden Boy. So out of all people, why are you guys shocked when, Floyd went to Showtime? So Oscar did was right for his company. I mean, they had Shaper pulling the rug under Oscar when he was going through his problems. I mean, come on, that's BS. Oscar's looking out for himself. He did the right thing. And at the end of the day, I agree with everybody a little bit. But I mean, Oscar had to do what he had to do.
Well, my thing is this: before I let you go, who else do you think could be a star outside of Canelo?
You know, I think Canelo took that fight with Mayweather too early, and I think that's what hurt his stock a little bit. But outside of Canelo, I mean, who could be a star right now? They're all, I mean, I don't know, to be honest with you. I would say Broner, because Broner does his own promo. He promotes himself. Outside of Broner and Canelo, it's hard. I mean, I really don't see anybody really just doing their own thing besides those two, and of course, Floyd and Pacquiao.
Yeah, like I said, and a guy that has potential is Keith Thurman.
I think Keith Thurman's not a star. So call it.
He's not a star. He's not a star. He's not a star.
No, okay, I think Keith Thurman has a good personality, but we all have to get real. Unless he's fighting a lot, and unless he's fighting good competition and putting himself out there like how Broner does, he's not at that level yet. Does he have the potential? Sure, he does. But even Canelo's not even up to that part yet. I mean, even his pay-per-views after that loss with Mayweather, he's not even doing $500,000. So it's a risk to take that big of a shot on Thurman. I mean, Thurman right now, all he can do is headline, maybe Showtime events. But for a pay-per-view, that is a huge loss. Why do you think Canelo's fighting on HBO now? It's not going to be pay-per-views next fight. So we got to slow down with these fighters, man, until they fight the big fights and prove themselves and try to create a little bit of an aura outside. Then they'll be ready, just like what Mayweather did. If it wasn't for 24/7, Mayweather wouldn't be selling nothing either.
You're right about that. You're right about that, but I think that now let's say that what Oscar did, right, Vic? Let's say that what Oscar did pushes him off of Showtime. Heyman has now Showtime. He showed us that he can do 2013. So now he does that over there with Showtime. He could build Keith Thurman into a star. because he has the fighters. Because Keith Thurman needs to fight who? Sean Porter and Paulie Malignaggi, and he's a pay-per-view star? Or Kell Brook.
Kell Brook.
Exactly. So that's what I'm saying. So you're telling me he fights Kell Brook, he can't go fight Mayweather?
I mean, he would have to, because if there's no other champions on that side. It's Mayweather, Pacquiao, and Brook with the 147 titles.
But if he beats Kell Brook, and this is the same Keith Thurman that on regular Showtime is already doing 866, the same Keith Thurman that on the Maidana Broner that did over 1.2 million was shown beating the shit out of Karras, the same guy that was doing pretty good versus Maidana. Then they give him the all access and they tell the world that at 17-0, you and I and half of the boxing hardcores know that he had a scheduled fight to fight Maidana, and Maidana pulled out. Maidana said, that's no tune-up. I'm not taking that fight. And he beat Kell Brook. And fucking that Mayweather fight is a huge fight. Huge fight.
It's possible.
And again, Mayweather has, Al Heyman has Amir Khan. You guys keep saying, oh, everybody else calls in and calls him a star. So you telling me Al Heyman gives him the right fights, he can't be a star? Let's think about it. Well, we already know he could fight Mayweather. So who else could we put him in? We can't put him in versus Danny Garcia on pay-per-view? I don't know if we can.
I don't know about pay-per-view, but
whatever.
No, about pay-per-view. I mean, that's gonna be 100,000 buys.
Well, you know what? The problem with that fight is the big factor of that fight would be UK, and again, it falls into the international thing, man. But let me see, Amir Khan versus who?
But you know, Amir Khan not fighting nobody tough next until he gets Mayweather.
No, wait a minute. Don't say that, because Amir Khan has a track record of fighting everybody.
But he ain't fucking up that payday, dog. That's why he ain't fight Devin.
Maybe not. Maybe not. But that doesn't mean nothing, because again,
he ain't fighting Brook. He ain't fighting Brook or Thurman before Mayweather.
Big. That's only one division. And what if this forces boxing to go back to the day and age where there was only 1 or 2 pay-per-views per year? Because that's only one division. Don't forget the light heavyweight division, where he has Chad Dawson, he has Stevenson, he has Darrell, he has who else he's got? He's got a bunch of people in that division.
Yeah, but no, I mean he's got Stevenson. I mean that's a star, I guess.
I mean, he's got a lot. No, but I'm not even talking pay-per-view anymore, because you're right. These people, we can't force them to be pay-per-view. Isn't that good for us? That means that only Canelo and Pacquiao have a pay-per-view, and on our side, Mayweather has a pay-per-view, right?
You're right, but this is what I'm saying to you. Last year, you were hell-bent high. Let's give this guy a chance. Let's do this. And this year, he said, fuck you guys. You gave me a chance. He said, fuck you guys. Come on, man.
No,
how many chances you want this fucking guy to get? He's not gonna save the sport.
No, listen to me.
He's not saving the sport, dude. He's not.
No, listen. It's not about chances. It's not about chances. It's about numbers. It's about numbers. And this number game tells me that he is more than capable of putting on the best fights.
Track record just says he had one good year.
Oh,
out of many.
Oh, I'm glad that you said that. And
out of many.
Callers.
Out of many. Out of many.
Because he said the track record indicates that he only had one good year, and it also indicates, Vic, that he only had one bad year.
What do you mean?
What?
How many? HBO?
2014.
Do you want to go back to 2009, 2010, 2011?
No, Vic.
Dude, he's had plenty of bad years where he's giving us mismatched bullshit.
No, Vic. No.
Andre Berto robbed the bank blind. Andre Berto's a fucking millionaire.
That's it. Andre Berto.
What do you mean that's it? There's plenty of bullshit mismatched fucking Heyman fights, dude.
Who?
You want me to research shit from 2009? I will.
Yeah, give me some numbers. Some fights. 636, you're live. Who's this?
All the people whooping on you were right.
636.
So basically, I'm a two.
682. 682, you're live.
Yo, you hear me?
Yeah, loud and clear, brother. Talk to me.
Fucker right in the pussy.
Oh, it's Ephraim. What up?
Yeah. What's up?
I said fuck around the pussy.
All right. What y'all talking about, man? Because I don't forgot. Y'all get to arguing like some East Coast niggas, and I don't know what's happening.
Oh man, we're talking about Canelo taking over boxing. We're talking about Canelo saying he's going up against Mayweather for that May 5th date and that Mexican Independence Day. He said
Mayweather can't counter that with nothing. Mayweather ain't got no chance but to fold with that. If that get made on, especially on the Mexican Day.
Yeah, he said those dates are Mexican. I'm taking them back.
Yeah, and he will. But don't it feel like De La Hoya had to pack it in? Like he got bullied out of Showtime. Don't it feel like that?
Well, that's one way of looking at it, Vic.
I just know HBO overpaid for fucking for Canelo, so I don't know if that's packing it in.
Yeah, I mean, but I feel like De La Hoya ain't got shit no more. I feel like he got Nello, and that's it. Nello in a briefcase. That's all he got. He packed his bags, and what's his name? Heyman done kicked his ass out of Showtime. And I feel like now he has to go under Bob's wing a little bit.
That's why I love these callers. That's why I love these callers. A different perspective right there.
And that's fine, but I mean, who's giving us the better fights though this year? Oh, but y'all want to live off Garcia Matisse for 5 years.
Vic, 1 year. And one,
dude, this motherfucker ruined HBO. He got people fired. He's doing the same thing as Showtime. History repeats itself. I said this shit last year when you was all on him, and look what happened. Look what happened not 1 year later.
He's taking over, that's why.
But yeah, Showtime was taking over. Heyman this, he makes the best
casualties. There's going to be casualties.
Now there's casualties. Now there's casualties.
What you mean?
Now there's casualties. I mean, he did what I said he was gonna do, ruin another network.
Okay. Let's see moving forward. Let's see 2015.
We'll see. He pretty much wasted my time in 2014. So.
But he didn't waste your time in 2013.
Well, we in the now. This is boxing. Is what have you done for me lately?
Okay, so then let's see because what's going unnoticed is Martirosyan versus Willie Nelson. That's a good fight.
It's an okay fight. It's nothing great.
Okay fight.
It's an alright fight, Nestor. Let's not act like that's Matisse Peterson.
When we got Daniel Jacobs fighting fucking Garrett Fletcher.
Yeah, because he's giving you shit, so now he's elevated it to mediocre.
Okay, but there's still, listen, Selchuk Aiden Pistola is just as good as fucking Nelson Vanez.
And no one said Selchuk Aiden Victor Pistola was the fucking fight of the century.
Actually, well, no, because Martirosyan got those. What Martirosyan got? 2 losses. He got a draw to Laura and a loss to Andrade, right?
Yeah.
That's the only loss?
No idea. I'd have to look it up.
Ephraim, let me get to some other callers. 702. This might be Robert Ortiz all the way from Vegas.
Yo, what it do? I'm international, actually, brother. But, yo, man, so, look, man, I tend to do this take, dude, because Vic, he likes to hate on Al Heyman. And you know what? He's probably fucking right, because Al Heyman doesn't give him a shit this year. However, I stick to the notion that if people would have just got on board with Al Heyman, there wouldn't be no fucking Cold War. We would get some good fights, and it would be awesome. But since Oscar don't want to deal with Heyman, since Bob Arum don't want to deal with Heyman, you end up getting shit fights because his fighters got no one to fight except each other, and he's going to make it marinate. If he has a ton of fighters that can fight each other, then he will match them against each other, but he doesn't. He only has a few in each division. But with that said, man, it's hard to say, dude. It's hard to say how this Canelo transition will take over. Because to me, dude, I ain't even gonna try to fucking jump for joy that the Cold War between Oscar and Bob ain't over. I still want to see a high fight.
What do you mean? The Cold War is over. We're getting Luis Carlos Abregu, Saddam Ali. The fight that ended the Cold War, bro.
Get the fuck out of here with that fight. I want a real fight, dude. I want a real fucking fight. I want to see fucking Pacquiao against someone from Golden Boy. I want to see Canelo against someone from Top Rank. Those are the types of fights we need to see. Come on, man. Those other guys don't count. That's easy money for them.
Well, you're getting
now, whether they're
you're getting Cotto.
That's. We'll see.
No,
we'll see. That's my point. We'll see.
You're getting that. You're getting that, dude.
It ain't happening.
Yo,
now.
Clottey would have to upset the shit out of Canelo for that fight not to happen. You kidding me?
Yeah. I hope. I mean, obviously, that's the best fight in boxing right now is Canelo versus Cotto. That's the fight that I want to see above everything else, you know?
Robert.
Even more than Triple G Cotto. But still, dude, I don't know if it happens, dude. They'll find a way to get something in the way. They will. So I don't want to jump for joy just yet. So, but what I'm saying, though, is, I mean, Heyman, he has a lot of potential stars, but I don't know if he, I'm kind of with you, Vic, where I don't think he knows how to build stars. I think he knows how to get guys money. I think
he knows how to get guys paid. I'll give him that.
Bill Mayweather.
Whoa. Hold on.
Yeah, Al Heyman hasn't.
No, how doesn't he know how to build stars when he built Broner?
He's yet to go on pay-per-view though.
But he has a fan base.
I mean, okay. Well, let me ask you this: was Broner on Golden Boy?
What do you mean?
He started with Shelly Finkel and Golden Boy, yeah.
But he was always signed to Heyman, though.
Well, Shelly Finkel had him first.
But was he with? Because you broke up for a second. Was he with Golden Boy?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, he was. Okay. Golden Boy knows how to build stars. When you got Heyman advising you and Golden Boy promoting you, that can be a winning combination. But I've yet to see whether Heyman can build guys all his own. And that's what he's going to have to do right now. He's got Showtime all to himself, and what's he going to do? Does he know how to build the fighters?
He knows how to put the fighters in the right cities because he's done it for Peterson and Broner.
Yeah, possibly, but he also wanted Broner to fight in like AC or something, and Broner said, "Fuck that, I'm fighting in Ohio." That's what he said. But
he wanted him to fight in Texas. He wanted him to fight. The plan was for him to fight in Texas, but Broner didn't want to go to Texas from last time, so he said, "Fuck Texas," pretty much.
Yeah.
Broner also fought in AC and drew well versus DeMarco, because that was on the Chad Dawson card.
He drew okay. I mean, it was his first time also. That was right before he truly evolved into it.
There, dude.
Yeah, the arena was half empty, or I mean, you're looking at it as half full. You can look at it as half empty. I mean, whatever. But either way, man, the one true thing to really look at with this whole thing is we've been boxing fans for fucking millions of years now. You can't predict, man. You really can't fucking predict. You don't know what's gonna happen. Mayweather, you could say, well, they're building up Keith Thurman for Mayweather. Maybe Keith Thurman gets some good wins under his belt. Maybe he does end up being great. I never knew that Manny Pacquiao was gonna be an international sensation. I was that fucking like Asian guy. What the fuck? Oh shit, he just beat Barrera. Oh shit, now he beat Morales. Oh shit, and that dude all of a sudden became a fucking icon. Like, I would have never predicted that. You don't know. You can't see because a guy can be one loss away from just fucking being out. So I like to take a step back with this type of thing and just kind of let it play out. I feel like there's never a long-term solution when it comes to fucking boxing. I think what Heyman did, and while fucking Oscar was out, putting dildos. Okay, I'm not gonna say that because, but while Oscar was, having his problems, his personal problems, and kind of being an absentee owner, Schaefer did some amazing fucking things with his company, taking his stable of fighters, maybe not having them signed, whatever the fuck, or letting contracts run out. But guess what? It made for an explosive second half of 2012 into an amazing 2013. And then, we thought that snowball could keep rolling, but it didn't. And now we got shit. So maybe Oscar's marriage with Bob will flourish, and you'll get an amazing fight with Cotto, and then what? Then fucking, Canelo loses to GGG in a great fight, and then that's it. And then we got a bunch of mediocre crap for a while. You never know, man. You never fucking know.
But you have more
hope
options.
It works well.
You have more options with the Heyman stable, though.
Who do you have with Heyman? You want him to fight Charlos? You want to fight those fucking guys? That's like fighting Andrade. Yeah, in fact, I think Andrade's better than both those guys.
You misunderstand me. I'm saying that when Canelo loses to GGG, that's it, is what Rob is saying. But I'm saying, it's not for the Heyman stable, though.
It's not. If he loses, it doesn't matter. He loses to one of the most feared guys in the sport. He probably puts up a good fight, too. No one's going to turn away from Canelo because he lost to Golovkin.
I believe it. And Mayweather said it on the All Access. He says, I made Maidana into a star. And he still beat Maidana on the scorecards, and in 90% of people's views, he beat Maidana. And he turned Maidana into
wait a minute.
a cult boxing guy into a...
No, GGG is not... Like, there is no fight like a Mayweather fight, except a Pacquiao fight, maybe. Like, you don't get the same level of popularity fighting Canelo that you would fighting Mayweather or Pacquiao.
If Canelo beats Cotto, who knows?
Different story, though.
Exactly.
I said that too, though. I said that too. Anything after Cotto is big for him. Anything. He could fight anybody after Cotto.
Here's the thing with the point I was trying to make is, in boxing, the most successful formula to creating a star is by having a fighter beat a star fighter. That's number one. That's like the top of the thing. If you can dethrone the top dog, chances are you become a pay-per-view sensation like Pacquiao and Mayweather with Oscar. Bradley couldn't do it because Bradley it was controversy. He didn't beat Pacquiao in most people's eyes, not in mine, because mine were probably fucking stupid. But anyways, it was hard, and with all these guys knocking each other out, Marquez knocking out Pacquiao, Mayweather, maybe he fights Cotto in a rematch and loses to fucking Cotto, and then his stock goes down, and they're not passing the torch. Basically, you need to pass the torch to someone. And on the Heyman side, they got Mayweather. There's a few hungry.
Rob, you think he's going to give up that O easily?
What's that?
You think that he's going to give up that O easily? I mean, I don't think he's passing the torch to anyone.
Absolutely not. I believe that Mayweather has possibly one more fight left. How long is his contract? He's got 2 fights left, right? His contract.
2 fights left. Yeah, 2 fights left.
I'm not even sure that he takes both fights. I think Mayweather retires with his O and doesn't pass that torch, and then Heyman's left to build up a stable with no fucking no end goal in sight, with no fucking he's building these guys towards a chance at grabbing that torch, but it's gonna be turned off by Mayweather, and he's gonna retire undefeated. But meanwhile, on the other side, you got Canelo, who's already making a name for himself, and reality is Cotto Mayweather did 1.5 million. Canelo Mayweather did 2.3 million or some 2.2 million. And that fight between Canelo and Cotto, that's a fucking $1 million pay-per-view possibly. And outside of that, there are no $1 million pay-per-views. So I don't know. It's hard to say, man. It's hard to say. I don't see anyone on Heyman's side able to take or real shot. I don't think Mayweather gets in against Keith Thurman. I don't think he gets in against anyone that he sees as a viable opponent on Heyman's side. I don't think that they have enough star power to warrant a fight against Mayweather. That's the point I'm trying to make, and I think he retires undefeated. No one on Heyman's side has a real shot of becoming huge. Except fucking Amir fucking piece of shit Khan.
Hey, Rob, let me get you some other people here.
For sure, because I'm
609, you're live. Who's this?
This is
609?
this is nobody here. I called him before. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we hear you.
Yeah. Hey. Yeah, so I was listening to you guys, and one thing I don't understand is how so many boxing fans are so against Heyman. I just don't get it. I mean, I think that boxers need to get paid, and if Heyman's getting them paid, what difference does it make? I don't get it.
Well, because I'm not making money off of Al Heyman or Peter Quillen, or I'm not getting paid for Mayweather's $32 million contract. I'm paying Showtime a $10, $11 subscription, a month, and I'm forking over $75 to watch these pay-per-views, and I expect better quality. Yeah, get paid, but give me some competitive fights.
But just because you have competitive fights doesn't mean that you're going to have good quality fights. I mean, for example, Robert Guerrero, he's a 5-time world champion. He earned his way to fight Mayweather, and everyone's making fun of that fight. So I don't think that you could, just because you have quote unquote competitive fights doesn't mean they're going to be watchable fights.
Well, I think Guerrero was a 9-1 dog. I mean, I don't consider that. Give me something 2-1, 3-1, something along those lines.
But I mean, I think that, like, for me, I feel like boxing fans have like this idea that if you have two skilled fighters, you're gonna have great fights. But it's not even really the case. If you have two people who are almost the same skill, you're gonna have a boring fight. But as long as you have people that are gonna watch both sides, then you have fights that can be made. And I think that's good for boxing in general, because if no one's watching, who cares?
I mean, I get what you're saying, but like Garcia Matisse was kind of even money, with Garcia being a slight favorite. That was a good fight. Broner Maidana, Broner was a slight favorite. I think he was 2-1. That was a good fight.
Yeah.
I mean, fighters get paid. That's fine, but when you're taking my money and you're paying Danny Garcia $750,000 to fight a guy who has no chance in hell of surviving 2 rounds, which was proven when fucking Danny Garcia almost sent Rod Saka to his fucking deathbed, I mean, that's just not right. You're just robbing us right now.
But again, I just don't understand why. And people think that I'm defending. I'm not. Caller, I'm going to get to some of the calls. Thank you for calling in. I just don't understand why nobody looks at the fact that this could be a ripple effect. We're seeing, the repercussions or the reactions of a man that clearly, wants to get his way, and he's taking the ball and he's going home right now. But when he shares the rock, it's good. That's all I know.
He doesn't share it pretty often, though.
313, you're live. Who's this?
Oh, what up, man? This is Wassam from Detroit.
Wassam, what up?
Not so much. I just want to put my 2 cents on this whole Al Heyman thing.
It wasn't even supposed to be this.
It turned into it.
This is fucking Beeb, man.
I think it's related. Whenever you talk HBO, Showtime, you got to talk about him.
He said the same thing.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying. But for me personally, like a guy who, I run my own business, thank God, and I've been in business for a while. And a guy who, like Al Heyman, who basically operates in the shadows, who's having fighters drop, $1.4 million on nothing but a handshake, never puts out any statements or gives any interviews, anything like that. I think that's a recipe for disaster, especially when signing all of these fighters. Monopolies, like Beeb mentioned to you, monopolies are horrific for any industry, because unless you have entrance into a person's psyche or how he operates or his business tactics, or his heart, you're never going to know that, okay, he has the capacity to make these big fights, but will he make those big fights? And what we've seen is, him basically, look at how Pascal is hounding Stevenson to get him a fight, saying, I'll give you, 60-40, and he still won't do it. Look at how many years Peter Quillen has been, staying away from Triple G or any meaningful fight for that matter. Look at, all these crazy tune-up exhibition fights at Showtime today. He has so many fighters that look at the top fighters he has at 147. How many of them have even fought one another? Why is Devin Alexander sitting there? Why is Robert Guerrero sitting there? Why is Keith Thurman a travesty what he's done to Keith Thurman, making him fight all these bums until he messed up his shoulder? And Keith Thurman is avid. He's so fervent about what he wants from boxing. He's saying, I want to fight the best. Why do they keep giving me these guys? And Heyman keeps feeding him these guys. When all those other top 147 pounders are in his stable, could easily make a fight, but he just doesn't want to. That's what I see from it. I honestly don't think this guy is good for boxing. He's good for the fighters. Like Beef says, he somehow gets them all of that money, but he's done nothing. And the things that he has done this year are just ominous of his nature when trying to make fights. He keeps his fighters away from stiff competition. That's just my opinion.
Well, the thing is, you're right. He's given us bad fights, but again, there's a reason. There's a reason. Things happen. Like many callers that already called in, when Richard Schaefer and Heyman were doing business together, there was no problem. There was no one crying.
Yeah, I mean, but like when I see the prospect of what could those reasons be? No, sir. Yeah, what could those reasons be? As in, like, okay, you look at the middleweight division, for example. Just in this one instance, what could possibly have included? What plan could he have had that excluded a fight with Korobov at $1.4 million? That fight had absolutely nothing to do with anything Peter Quillen could have done in the near future. He's not fighting Danny Jacobs. At least this year he's not fighting him. So for me, it just seems like something to do with his pride, something to do with the past that he has with Jay-Z.
Or what about something to do with business?
But what is it? Can you think of like a valid, viable reason why that fight couldn't have happened? Or what is more viable for Peter Quillen?
He wants to keep his fighter for whatever plan he has with his new way of doing boxing. Remember, he opened up companies. Mayweather has a promotional company. I just don't get why people can't assume. And again, I'm only saying assume. I'm not saying live and die by this, but there could be a reason. Maybe he wants to do it. Maybe he wants to do it now without Golden Boy.
I mean, that's the same reason Peter Quillen gave us when you try to question him about that fight. He says, just trust me. But like when we look at your past, we have no reason to trust you. You've not taken these big fights. Why are we to assume that
that's the point?
Somebody bigger. Why are we going to assume that you have all of these plans?
Well, I'm going to tell you why. I'm going to tell you why. Because that's Peter Quillen. That's one fighter. But we all have seen. Wait a minute, Wassan. We've all have seen that Al Heyman tells the fighter who to fight. If it's a tough fight or if it's a soft fight. Trout and Laura had to fight. Danny and Garcia had to fight. They got to take the fight. So again, this may not be his goal, his end plan may not be here. Now that, look, because clearly, if he didn't want Peter Quillen on HBO, and now Oscar's taking Canelo to HBO, more is going to happen. It's only a matter of days before we get another statement saying that Heyman isn't dealing with Golden Boy no more. So now he pushed Oscar out, what they wanted. They bring Richard Schaefer back, And again, I know that there's a no complete clause. But again, there are plenty guys who work as paralegals or lawyers have called in stating that it depends on the state, and some states don't care about it. So what if all that happens? Then what? We don't know is what I'm saying. Everybody's pointing the finger because of one bad year. What about the year before last and the half a year before that?
Me personally, I'm not pointing the finger because of one bad year. I'm looking at the specifics. You know, just because he hasn't given a fight doesn't mean, you know, you're right, that we should just, you know, have this negative outlook on his entire future. But what I'm saying is, when you see how he deals with the media, how Steven Espinoza lying through his teeth, definitely lying through his teeth, saying that, you know, Oscar had this verbal agreement with him, with the biggest star on Showtime. Yeah, he risked it on a verbal agreement. Right? These guys are snakes.
Wait a minute. Don't you see, you guys just say these things like, you can't say that that's a lie when Kathy Duva had the same thing.
She has emails though. Big difference.
Main Events just tweeted saying that their verbal agreement was not verbal. They actually had internet email. They had emails.
They did have emails
for that.
Okay, and what's the point?
That's completely different.
What's the point? Listen, if there's nothing signed, if there's no contract, emails are the same thing as verbal. Because as long as the other party is not denying that there's no verbal contract, but a verbal contract is just as good as a legal contract in court. Don't forget that. Google it.
I mean, like I said, I run a business, you know, thank God. But at the same time, if you have an official email that's going out to a specific person with a specific intent, that the source of the email can serve as your signature. You don't have to have it, you know, notarized or whatever. If it's traced back to you, then they can actually uphold that in court. But that's an entirely different story. Like I said,
I don't know how they're going to uphold that. What if the person claims he never sent that email?
Well, he has to take responsibility for what goes out from his official email.
What's on. Contracts are meant for a reason. Come on.
So you think Steven Espinoza really? Okay, so it's either one of the two. Either he's
I'm not saying that.
Or he's lying.
I'm not saying that. I'm just saying we can't assume that he's lying. How the fuck?
I'm gonna assume that he's lying because he's pretty much lied to us the whole fucking year.
Okay.
I mean, proof is in the pudding. I mean,
options. Either one, he's incompetent.
No, one he says he wants to make Garcia Peterson do it.
And I tend to favor the fact that he's a schooled lawyer, that he wouldn't do that. That's just me.
All right, well, let me get to some other people here. We got about a couple of more here. 636, you're live. Who's this? 636?
Yo.
Who's this? All right. Well, I guess, Vic, we're going to go ahead and end it. Unfortunately, this didn't work out the way that I wanted. This was not to be an Al Heyman show. I understand that they are, one and the same because of what's going on. But it was a better, I wanted to do this because I felt good about the Canelo move. I was happy that he did that. I like power plays. I don't mind them. So it was very good for me. And also it opens up a lot of doors. I mean, of course, if somehow they can do it, the Pacquiao fight. I remember Larry Merchant always wanted to see that. If somehow they can do it, the Golovkin fight, the Cotto fight. All that is good. So this show was supposed to be that this is huge, that on HBO, Canelo has millions and millions of subscribers that he can grow his brand to, and like Vic said, truly become a star, because ultimately that's what I want. I want more stars in the sport. Again, this show took a turn for the worse. That wasn't what my intentions, but those are my final thoughts. Vic, what about you?
Well, I think the reason this turned into an Al Heyman type of show, regardless of what Beef said, is because a lot of people were frustrated with the way Showtime is doing this year, and that's the way to vent. there is one guy behind Steven Espinoza that's pitching these fights to him, and he's buying them, and it's Al Heyman. So I see where it got to that point. Canelo fighting on HBO, big power move. It's probably Clottey, whatever. I mean, there's an outside shot. Kirkland might get it. If he does, that'd be great. And if Kirkland doesn't fight Rosado or Canelo, I wouldn't mind not ever seeing that guy on my TV again. But that's just me.
But you see, and that's the thing. You know, guy like Kirkland constantly gets out of big fights. He didn't take the Canelo fight. Now he's not taking the Rosado fight, and it's okay. No one's blaming. What's his name? Michael. What's his last name?
Well, Mike Miller. I'll tell you this, Kirkland. I don't know, man. Mike Miller wouldn't advise Kirkland to not take a Rosado fight for no reason. If it's not Canelo, then there's something different there.
I don't know.
But I don't know. I don't think he lands Canelo. I don't know.
Well,
I don't know. I mean, even Gabe said he heard he's over 200 pounds. So
they said they haven't picked an opponent yet. So hopefully the Clottey thing isn't true. We'll find out. I got it from a pretty good source that Clottey is a done deal. Andy Lee is not. So I don't know, but. This has been the show, guys. So, as always, hey guys, I just want to send a special thank you to all of you guys that are listening to the Boxing Voice and downloading us on iTunes, rating us 5 stars. We would like you to continue to like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter at the Boxing Voice, and for anybody interested in writing for the site, you can definitely do so by shooting us an email over at THEBOXINGVOICE@yahoo.com. Address your email to Victor Salazar. He's the editor-in-chief. Send something over so that he can read. If he likes what he reads, you're part of the team. And remember, leave a 5-star review. You're already part of the team. Later, guys. Till next episode.
Peace.
Thank you for using